mean, that was the plan, was to become a teacher.
Yeah.
I would have really doomed an entire generation of kids.
Well, don't worry, they're already doomed.
Well, yeah, I couldn't have made
Yeah.
it any worse, really.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
maybe me fucking lumbering through a sentence might actually help them a little bit.
I don't know. I think the way you do stuff, at least on social media, is interesting with the way that our attention span is so short now, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I just learned like 5 things I didn't know in, 45 seconds, which is the only way I'm going to learn anything.
Well, I appreciate you checking it out. I mean,
Yeah.
I do like enjoy doing it, and history, pop culture, all that's always been like super interesting to me. I
Uh-huh.
just didn't know like what I was gonna do with it. I
Yeah.
mean,
Do you know what you're going to do with it now? Just keep making
yeah. I mean,
stuff?
I'm kind of doing it.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I
Great.
plan on just keep doing this till the wheels fall off, which will
Great.
probably be a couple weeks if I had
Yeah.
to guess. But
Yeah.
now I am working on a book, which I haven't really talked about too much. But I am working on
Ooh.
kind of turning the whole thing into like just one big old book.
I love that. Like a coffee table book? Or
Yeah,
like,
well, I was thinking more of like a bathroom book.
okay, yeah.
You know,
When
so
you're taking a shit.
well, that funny you mention it. So I actually, this might be like some of the autism kicking in. I s- I looked up like what's the average amount of time someone takes a shit, like how long
Mhm.
it takes for the average person. It's about 3.5 minutes, which
Yeah.
seems insane to me.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Is that
so
long or short for you?
that seems way too short.
Okay, so that's like really long for me. I think girls poop a
Really?
lot. Yeah, I think girls poop a lot faster than guys. I think we just are like built for speed in there.
Well, it's more streamlined, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of barriers to get
Yeah.
across, and
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of traffic stops,
Yeah.
military police, things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. It's like East Berlin. Uh, yeah, but so anyway, so I decided I was like, well, I'm gonna make each story the exact amount of time the average person takes a shit to read.
Great.
So every time you take a dump, you can
You can learn
learn
something.
something.
I love that.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
downloaded an app on my phone called Smarty Me, and it's
Uh,
like it's supposed to be teaching me stuff, but it's really not getting my attention. And I think it's from China, so I'm like, I don't want a Chinese app teaching me
oh.
American or just like world history.
It's just reprogramming your
Yeah,
mind, brainwashing you.
yeah,
It's like you're
yeah.
outside just like smashing cinder blocks all day.
Right,
Like, I don't know
right,
why, but I love this.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Now what I mean, is there like a certain thing that you're interested in? Like just more than
see,
others?
I don't know if this is because it's something my dad's really interested in, but recently I've become really interested in World War II, which
Oh, yes.
I'm listening to a documentary about Adolf Hitler, and it's or not a documentary, a podcast about
Yeah.
Hitler, and it's the longest podcast in the world, by the way. Like I'm never gonna get through it. It's like so much. I'm literally just
Yeah.
at now where he's getting like denied from art school, and he's like a vegetarian, and he doesn't have sex, and I'm like, well, I feel like we could have
Yeah.
prevented the
Well,
Holocaust
well, I think there's
if
a
he
lot
got
of
some pussy, you know?
yeah. Well, I think art school was not going to help him in that field. I don't think.
Well, no, I think art school, if they would have just let him in, he got denied 3 times.
Have you ever looked at his paintings? They're not that
No,
good. I mean,
no.
it's understandable.
No, but I think if somebody is, adamant enough to apply 3 times, you should just let them in because otherwise they're going to commit genocide.
Well, that is a good point. I'm still
Yeah.
waiting for the blowback from some of the American Idol people that didn't get
Right.
passed through. I'm
Right.
waiting for one of them to rise through the ranks.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, World War II is a fascinating one. And,
Yeah.
you can't trust a dad who isn't into World War II.
Yeah, that's true. And I think
Like, that's
the
not a
only
dad.
reason that's true.
That's
It's
a
the only,
mom.
right. The only reason it's interesting to me is because it's the only war that we got involved in that we didn't make everything worse.
Oh, that is very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it. I mean, it kind of depends if you count like the Civil War, like who is we?
Oh, right.
Because
Well,
like,
I'm counting
well,
America once we like
where you were, I mean,
yeah.
you're from what, Wisconsin, right?
Wisconsin, yeah.
Yes.
I
So
live in Los Angeles, but
you were in the clear.
yeah.
I was in Texas, and
Yeah.
uh, uh,
You were not on the good side.
no, which I did not find out that we were on the wrong side until very late in life.
Recently. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, we were the bad ones?
Yeah.
Like, I
You
didn't
know,
know that.
that's so my ex-husband, his family is from South Carolina, and I
Oh,
went to I went to 4th of July with them, and they're still waving, not his family, but
yeah.
people in South Carolina are still waving the Confederate flag, and I'm like, hey guys.
Well, it was like their state flag until
I
like pretty
know.
recently.
I know. Listen, it's a badass flag, but it stands for horrible things. So
Yeah. Yeah.
gotta
It's
get rid.
well, it's I mean, in some ways it's kind of like the swastika. Like when you see
It's sick, right? Like it looks cool if it was just a swastika.
I mean, let me tell you, Nazis, I don't want to I don't want to say anything too crazy here. Nazis were bad people. That's a just yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know that's a controversial opinion
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
but
Hot take.
yeah, hot take.
Yeah,
Nazis a little rude
yeah,
to some people.
yeah.
Their uniforms were awesome.
I
They
mean,
were
weren't they?
designed by Hugo Boss,
Yes,
so of course.
and Coco Chanel was hooking up with the Nazis. Like,
Yeah, one in particular who was very high ranking. She also used the Nazis to because the perfume line of her business of like Chanel
mhm,
warehouse or whatever was owned by a Jewish couple. And
uh-huh.
as soon as well, a little pre-Holocaust, but as soon as things started ramping up, she asked her boyfriend, she was like, you think you could take care of these two for me? And yeah, got her business back. And
Oh, damn. Yeah, no, I
yeah.
know she was like a, not she was a Nazi sympathizer, but
Well, yeah, sympathizers and I mean, basically doing blow bangs with
yeah,
entire SS
yeah,
groups.
yeah.
But yeah,
Listen, she
I
was,
mean,
what was she, 54? She didn't have many choices.
yeah, she was pretty hot too back in the day.
Yeah.
You look at a lot of people back then, you're like, God damn, was everybody just born 70? And yeah, she was kind of hot,
Yeah.
which and her being into Nazis actually kind of in a way makes her hotter.
Right, right. It's a
Yeah. It's like,
it's
like
a
Sandra
kink.
Bullock.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're both gonna get canceled for this podcast.
Oh
It's
well,
good.
fuck them.
Whatever. Yeah.
I don't give a shit. I'll go back to selling fucking insurance. I don't care. Yeah. No, that's yeah, World War II, that's I mean, there's just so many things about the Nazis. But then what's crazy is like Japan was doing way worse stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody really gives a fuck. Like
Yeah.
Japan, like, when I don't know if you've gotten to the whole you know, doing experiments on people section of World War II.
No, I really have to take it. Like I can do about 2 of those podcasts a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably the right way to do it. See,
Yeah.
I go down rabbit holes and come out a week later like,
Yeah.
holy fuck, we have to stop the Japanese. And then I
Yeah.
have to remind myself this was, 80 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were doing some of the worst shit you could imagine to
Tell me
people.
what they were doing.
So there was a thing called Unit 731 that was like their version of concentration camps, like
Mhm.
of the experimenting parts of concentration camps, like Joseph Mengele, who was like
Yeah.
the angel of death.
Yeah.
So Unit 731 was the Japanese version, and they would like basically just riddle people with fucking like bacteria and like the Black Plague basically, and just
Oh.
watch them every day, see what happened to. They would blind people like on purpose. They were also responsible for a thing called the you can't really say it on like YouTube because they get pissed off, but I'm sure this is gonna get anyways. It was
Yeah.
the rape of Nanking, which was Nanking's a part of China, and Japan and China were kind of going at it during World
Yeah.
War II. They came in and within like 6 hours killed about 100,000 people. And one of the things they would do, which this is, I mean, stop
It's
me if
tough.
this is
Yeah.
getting,
No,
if
no,
this
no.
gets too brutal.
Yeah, there's
They
nothing.
would play a game, which,
Mhm.
not necessarily my kind of game, but they would play a game
Not
where they
like
would take.
Scrabble.
It's not like Scrabble.
Yeah.
No, no, not quite. It's more like pin the tail on the donkey, but the pin is a bayonet and the donkey is a infant. So they would like one would stand in 10 feet away, the other would hold a baby and throw it in the air, and they would try to catch it with the bayonet.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
they deserved that
Arigato.
bomb.
Yeah,
They deserved Hiroshima.
kinda.
Kinda. Karma's a bitch.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you're like, I mean, not all of you were part of this,
right. No.
but
Of course, I
enough
didn't
of you
obviously mean
were.
that. I'm just saying.
No, I know.
Okay, so what
Yeah.
do you think about the current state of affairs? Are you worried
About
about like a possible World War III? It seems like no, you're not.
no, fuck that. Well, it ain't gonna be. I mean, even if there is, go do it. I don't give a shit. I'd
Well, no,
rather
we
them
don't
just.
care because, like, if we die, whatever, who cares? But, like, don't you think that if we go to war with China, it's going to be like the end of humanity as we know it?
It would be hard not to. I mean, there's going to be some Australians floating around that still make it. That crawl out like, "Oi, you see that?
Like, everything's fine."
It's a little warm down here." Yeah, yeah. There's going to be a little of that, But yeah, it'll be pretty rough. The drones thing is kind of freaking me out a little bit.
There's
I
a
will
lot of
say.
shit going on that's like, everyone's freaked out, but I don't think they're freaked out enough. Like, I just saw 2 days ago that the Secretary of Treasury was hacked by the Chinese, and it was not even like the top of my news feed. It was like sixth, and
Yeah,
it was underneath Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie settling their divorce. I was
yeah,
like, hey.
yeah. I mean, Jimmy Carter died the other day at
Yeah,
100, which at this point it's like finally.
right.
Uh, I heard about that probably 400 times in the last day or two. I
Yeah,
didn't hear about this thing once.
yeah,
It's like this is breaking news. A 100-year-old man dying is not
right.
breaking news.
No,
Like
no.
that is wild. I did not know that. Fuck me. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not good.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
love
Like
that. Love that.
it's not good if I get hacked. And I mean,
It's not
what
good.
are they gonna do with my shit? I mean,
Right.
nothing. I
Yeah.
mean, take over my student loan debts. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they'll hack me and be like, Jesus Christ, we fucked up.
Like, we can't handle this.
Like our credit score just went down
Yeah,
100 points.
we're stressed.
Yeah.
We can't get you guys Christmas gifts this year.
Oh my God. Yeah. When's the last
Student
time
loan
you
debt. I saw that a bunch of people are asking Biden. People like over the age of 50 are asking for pardons from Biden to get, or not pardons, but to just get rid of all the student loan debt. I'm like, how depressing that we're tricked into the fact we need this like education, and then you pay for it for the rest of your life. Like, I'm so fortunate that my mom was a little bit of a swindler, and she lied somehow and got me a nearly free education. She said she was dying, and she literally, when we were
it's the truth. I mean, we are all.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean,
when we walked into Zilber Hall at Marquette, where we do the student loan stuff, she was like, if anyone asks, I'm terminal. And I was like, okay.
That's amazing.
I was like, I don't think anyone's gonna ask.
God, that is. Yeah, my mom would never have done that for me.
Yeah.
No. Which, I mean, it's a lie, but not really. I mean,
Yeah. Well, and she did kill herself. So ultimately,
well, she might have been dropping a hint, at that point.
Yeah, it was just foreshadowing.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Yeah. No, it is crazy that like when you're 18, you can go $100,000 in debt and no one cares.
Yeah.
Like I as a 31-year-old could not get approved for a loan for $100,000.
No, Neil Brennan has a great joke about this where he's like, the premise alone of a student loan is insane. He's like, imagine going to a bank and being like, I have a business idea. For 4 years, I'm going to get hammered and fuck as many people as I can get my hands on, and I'm going to learn nothing. And I need $120,000.
That's exactly what it is. Like,
they would never be like, that's cool.
Yeah. How do you spell your last name?
Right.
Yeah. I think the only thing, because I did go to college and did get a degree, which I think in all that amount of time, the only thing I learned in college was that I shouldn't have gone to college.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I used to joke that I majored in partying and minored in sucking dick. Like, I just was like, I really didn't do anything. I thought I was going to do broadcast and electronic communication. I thought I was going to be like an ESPN journalist. And then I like switched to advertising at the very end. And it just, the whole thing was a mess. I also got a degree, and I'm like, thank God I don't have fucking student loan debt, because I would be pissed if I was still paying for that.
Yeah, I don't know if I should say this out loud, but I'm just not paying it. I don't know if that's like a thing you can do, but
it's not. But I like that you're doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't send them any money.
Yeah.
And so far so good. I mean,
I
I don't
mean, yeah, is it
yeah.
not affecting your credit?
Wouldn't know, you
Okay,
know?
you're checked.
I mean, the
You're
last
like,
time
"What's
I
credit?"
yeah,
"Myth
yeah.
of credit."
Well, last time I checked, it was lower than my weight, which I was like, "That can't be good." Granted, I'm a big son of a bitch, but
Yeah.
still. And so I
Yeah.
feel like it can't really be getting hurt, you know?
No, if it's lower than your weight, it's already, pretty bad. Your credit is
Yeah.
pretty irreparable.
Which at this point, I kinda just don't give a fuck. Everything could
Yeah,
get just blown off the map tomorrow. Fuck it.
fingers crossed.
I do have like a fantasy of becoming terminally ill and then just
Okay.
racking up as much, like just getting a bunch of credit cards, those like shitty ones that they give to poor people,
Yeah,
um, like, and just blowing all that money and just going
yeah.
out with a bang. I think it
But
would
I
be
mean,
so much
you
fun.
could do that, except for you don't even need the terminal illness, you would just have to kill yourself afterwards.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
because
Go
it would
suck
be
on a
more fun to
shotgun.
spend the money in good health and then just
Yeah, I might need to start running these ideas by you before
yeah.
I get too ahead of myself because
Yeah,
I'm over here thinking I'm gonna have like a bad case of the rickets and
yeah,
still trying to like go to Disney World.
yeah. Not Disney
Yeah.
World, that can't be your dream. We need to rejigger your dream if it's Disney World.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess like Vegas was that adult. That's the adult Disney World.
I mean, that's also pretty depressing, but
Well, I mean, what place isn't really?
well, that's I mean, Bali and those kinds of places, you'll be exposed to extreme poverty, but you also will
I don't give
with
a
y-
fuck about that.
yeah, with your Discover card that you're gonna max out.
I
You're
mean,
gonna
that's their
you're
problem.
king.
I mean, do you see how clear that water is? I don't give a
Yeah,
fuck what they're going through.
yeah.
Jesus. It's like people from here, like my parents will go to like Mexico every year or whatever,
Mhm.
and they're like the ones who get pissed whenever there's not like a KFC or
Yeah,
something, or they'll
yeah,
go to like the most like a Senor Frogs.
yeah.
They're like, God, look at us, we're cultured. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Senior a Margaritaville, a Jimmy
yeah.
Buffett's Margaritaville.
That's okay. That's the record or the cap for the most depressing place in the world is a Margaritaville.
In an airport.
They're in Jesus Christ. That
Yeah,
is wild.
yeah. A Margaritaville in an airport, they should give you a fucking loaded gun with your margarita.
Or at least, or just one in a chamber, and you
Yeah,
have to play Russian roulette every time you want a margarita.
yeah.
I'd be like, here, give it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
Oh my
God.
god, yeah.
Yeah. There's no evidence of anyone like before it was in movies of anyone ever doing Russian roulette. That was like
Um,
not a thing. Like how they make it seem like
right.
as far as it being Russian. Like there
It's
was
not
no
Russian.
no,
It's
it's
not
not Russian. It's
Russian.
like how French fries aren't French. Russian
Yeah,
roulette is not Russian.
it's American roulette.
Well,
It's
yeah, kinda, because it's like from like The Deer Hunter. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, that boring
uh-uh.
ass movie, but it's with Robert De Niro and Christopher Walken are in Vietnam, and the people are making them play Russian roulette. That never happened, but it was a great. I mean, that part of the movie is really good,
Yeah,
but that made people think that Russian roulette was like an actual thing. It's just
right.
not.
It's
People
not
accidentally shoot themselves, but yeah,
no, yeah, they do. I know that. My mom did, but she wasn't playing Russian roulette. She knew
she was using a 9 millimeter.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. It was a cannon. She put
yeah,
a cannon in her mouth.
just stuck her head in a cannon.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Oh no.
I was at the chiropractor the other day, and he was like, I don't know why he asked me this. He's like, "Do you have any family heirlooms?" And I was like, "Yeah, the gun my mom killed herself with." And he was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Well, I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
solid point. But also, what the fuck is wrong with him asking if you have family heirloom?
right.
What a weird question to
What do you
ask
think it's
someone.
gonna be like a spork from Burger King, like
Oh, that'd be a good
collector's
one to
item?
have.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd rather have the gun, but a
yeah,
spork is a good one too.
yeah.
Yeah. Come to think of it, I don't think I have any. Like our
No,
family's not an heirloom family. We're a everything we buy is disposable.
yeah,
And then when someone dies, there's just a yard sale.
yeah,
You just get rid of everything, and
yeah,
everybody splits the pot. So
yeah.
here's your 12.50.
Not 12.50.
Yeah. It's like, oh, great.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Uncle Jimmy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of how we do things. Like,
That's
yeah.
depressing when you're worth less dead than you are alive. Like, you know, you're supposed to like die and have like a healthy like insurance policy or something. When you
Yeah.
die and just have like a couple lamps. It's a bad
Well,
day.
I mean, my family being the white trash rednecks that we are, like, there's no life insurance policy for us that's going to be worth anything. Like when you're getting your life insurance policy at a Bass Pro Shop,
Right.
like things are, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, you get a couple of
Lures for life is your insurance policy. You just get some Rapalas, some rattling Rapalas.
yeah, 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 pretty much. Jesus Christ.
Oh hell yeah, dude! How did we get there? Where did we even start? I don't even.
I don't know. I don't
That
know
was a
what year. I don't
journey.
know what's going on right now, to be honest with you. Which is, sort of the theme of
Yeah.
the show. So I guess we are keeping in theme. What kind of student were you? Good student, bad student?
I had
Yeah.
to be a good student because my mom was really strict. So
Okay.
she made us be good students. I have an older sister who is a much better student, and now she's a
Mhm.
scientist.
Wow.
Yeah, she has a PhD in cellular molecular immunology and pathology, and she's trying to cure glaucoma. And she won't, but she could try.
But she does not have a special entitled Horny.
That's
So,
true.
That's
That's
true.
I
I think she's the one missing out,
Listen, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Which, by the way, the special is fucking amazing. I watched
Thank
it
you.
again last night.
Oh
And
wow, thank you so much.
it's so good. Yeah. I liked it a lot.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, that's my second one. My 1st
Mhm.
one was out on Hulu. I think my first one's better. I don't know. I think the
Yeah.
second one's a little bit of like a sophomore slump moment. And even though
Hmm.
everyone's like, not everyone, a lot of people are like, it's so good. I'm like, I don't believe you. You know, like artistically, when you know something is good,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't
Yes.
think it once it's good. Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, the
Yeah.
sophomore slump thing that's pretty legit. Like every band, their
Yeah.
second album is usually nowhere near as good.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like the stereotype is that their second album are just songs about being on the road. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's all they've been doing when
Yeah.
the first album came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd never really thought about comedy, but I guess comedy's kind of the same way too. Because usually
I mean, you'll see it happen, right? Where like someone puts out a fucking amazing special, and I'm not saying mine was amazing. I'm not grouping me in with these people, but it's just a pattern. Like you'll see like Bill Burr put out Paper Tiger, which is like fucking phenomenal, and then a year later he put out another special. I don't even know what it's called because it was just kind of like whatever.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
it happens a lot, you know. But the thing is, comedy needs time. Like you need like the formula for comedy is tragedy plus time, right? It can't just be tragedy.
Yes, I know. I mean, it
can't
can.
just be tragedy and then me being like, here's another special. I'm divorced. This sucks. I want to die. What's up?
I mean, you can. I think like Bill Hicks kind of made a career off of it.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the specials. I don't know if you go back and watch a lot of like older.
I don't, but I
comedy. Maybe it's just one of those things where it's just not. A lot of it just doesn't last. It doesn't last the way a movie lasts or an album like a music album lasts. Like comedy is a little like it has to be a part of the time.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, not that there aren't some. There are definitely some comedy albums that like Bill Cosby himself is still, I think, one of the greatest albums. And then after the allegations, I was like, oh, this is even funnier. Because I was like, little did we know that this guy making jokes about popsicles is the same guy that was, having a great old time.
Popsicles.
I mean, well, he was having a blast. It was everybody else that.
That's what they always say: the cleaner the comic, the less you should trust them.
I don't trust.
Like you're hiding something. Like nobody is that pure and good and kind, and you could say it. Every time I see a clean comic, I'm like, what are you hiding from everyone?
It's not even just for I mean, that is definitely true, but it's also just people in general. Like everyone I know who says like frick instead of fuck or heck, or dang, like those are the ones who like beat the shit out of their kids.
You gotta like look out for the frickers.
Right. Yeah. Look out for the frickers is a great album title, actually.
Look out for the frickers. Because they are slapping their jimmies. They're little kids, not their
Well, that's
Like,
I did not know. I mean, maybe both actually.
Maybe both.
Yeah,
Maybe
Jimmy's Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
There we go. We're getting in sync.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, this isn't good. That's not good for
Yeah.
either one of us, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I've all it's like you always hear on the news, it's never like the guy who's in like the Church of Satan who's the one that's smoking meth and banging like male prostitutes. It's always like the Baptist minister.
Right.
And it's like, that's
Yeah.
interesting that
Yeah.
y'all are the ones doing this horrible shit.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
just gotta let people be. You know, the other thing I've seen a parallel with too is well, I guess, being gay now is fine. It's okay. It's okay to be out. But like I think back in the day, like if you look at like John Wayne Gacy and Jeffrey Dahmer, like they were closeted murderers, and I think it has to do with the fact they couldn't just be gay. Like,
I wondered that too. Like
they just couldn't be gay, so they had to like murder the people that they wanted to have sex with. Because they were so ashamed.
Like, yes, like because they didn't want someone to go run and tell.
Yeah.
Like that is one of the things. Like if Jeffrey Dahmer would have been able to put on a pair of like neon suspenders and short pink shorts and walk down West Hollywood.
Yeah.
Would
he would have been okay.
Would
Jeff
13 people still be alive?
I think it was 17, wasn't it? Or was it 13?
Was it 17?
I think it was 17. He's just a Milwaukee boy, so I know his stats.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you watch, if anyone hasn't watched Horny, which I implore you to do so, there's a great story. Yeah, that
Dad clocked him.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Like that's, like my dad's gotten into some fights and he has all, a lot of like fight stories, which is kind of a thing of the past too. People don't really fight that much anymore. Like just a good old brawl.
I know.
But your dad, knocked the shit out of Jeffrey Dahmer. Like,
yeah, and like
something.
really, really soon, like really close to when he got caught too. It was, I want to say the wedding that he went to and like the bar they were at afterwards was like in February. And I think Jeffrey got caught in like March or April. It was like right there. And that's, I think, the only reason why he would have hit on someone like my dad. Because my dad was like big and like beefy and like not the type that Jeffrey would go after. Because he typically went after minorities and people that were smaller than him. But I think when he had the cockiness of 17 bodies, he's like, you know what? Maybe I can get a farm guy. And he was wrong because my dad knocked him the fuck out.
That's a good point. Like, think about it, if you were in the NFL and you won 17 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
You know how arrogant you'd be? Like Tom Brady won 6 and he's about as arrogant and cocky as it gets.
Yeah.
Imagine if you won 17.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be
you're like, I'm untouchable. I can do whatever I want. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't you can't blame little Jeffrey for doing such a thing, but my God. Did you watch that series, the mini series with Evan Peters?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I mean, everything Ryan Murphy does is so perfectly haunted that I just love everything he does.
Yeah, I like the OJ one. The OJ one was great.
OJ, did you watch the Menendez brothers one?
A little bit of it. That one just pisses me off so much that it's hard to watch. Like, I get so angry because I know that they should be fucking let go.
Yeah.
Like, so
but
whenever
I think they're about to be released.
I don't know how that works. I don't think lawyers know how it works. It's like their job to know.
Yeah.
So how the fuck how we wouldn't know how any of this shit works? But they say like, oh yeah, they're going to get released. But then people never do get released. Like, it's like, oh, well, something came up or like that wasn't a guarantee. And there's like all this weird shit that happens. Where it's like,
I think they will because there's like a lot of public support for it. But what's interesting is where I live now is really close to where that house is. And I do night walks. Like every night I go on a walk around Beverly Hills. And for like months after that show came out, there would just be so many cars out in front of that house. Because that house is like basically an Iranian family bought it. And it's just like a shell house. Like they're just holding money. I don't know if they maybe didn't like look into the fact there was like a horrible murder there.
Well, for them, that's like part of that's on the real estate list in Iran.
Like, oh, the value goes up then, right?
He's like, wait, so you mean only 2 people were killed here?
Right. They're like, that's a steal. No, so but the house is like in this place called the Beverly Hills Flats, which is like a really fancy part of Beverly Hills, and it's just like completely vacant, like nobody's there. It's like very, very fucking creepy. But yeah, for a while there was just cars and cars, and everyone in Beverly Hills was getting so pissed because like people from all around were coming to look at, you know, the interest was reignited.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, that's the trade-off, I guess. Like it's, you know, you live in a pretty nice place. You're gonna have people that
occasionally want to see where someone was murdered. Like
they don't
ever do that. They don't ever do those scenic tours in the south side of Milwaukee or in south side of Chicago. You know what I mean? They're not they're not going cruising through Chirac, just like.
Well, yeah, because they'd be fucking slipping on bullet shells like Home Alone. Yeah, my God. I'm sure there's not a lot of people going like, and these are the projects where Jeffrey Dahmer killed 3 people. Yeah.
Right. Well, I think the apartment building that he was in, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, actually, no, it's still up. No, it's not. They demolished it.
Yeah.
They demolished it.
Okay, I was wondering, like, because some of those things, like they did that with the in LA, the Ambassador Hotel, I think, where Bobby Kennedy Sr. was killed. I think it got demolished.
Yeah, I think specifically because of Jeffrey Dahmer, they knocked it down, and now it's a lot, and everyone in Milwaukee just calls it the Slaughter Lot.
That's a cool name.
Yeah.
Slot lot. Yeah.
The slot lot. Yeah. The slaughter lot. And like people like out of respect for the victims won't tell you where it is. So you have to like know where it is.
Wow. Yeah. So it's like a hidden gem.
Yeah. I mean, like you can find the address, but like people will be like, they don't really know. It's like by this place called 5 O'Clock Steakhouse. And if you ask the people that work there, they won't tell you. They tell me because I'm like from Milwaukee. I'm like, fucking tell me which one it is.
Yeah.
But so I know I've walked past it because I'm just like kind of sadistic and weird like that. I'm like, I want to know when weird shit happens. Yeah.
Oh, that's like that's my bread and butter is like true crime shit or like just dark shit from history.
Yeah.
Like I love learning about stuff like that. I don't want to learn about like I hate inspirational things.
Yeah.
Fucking hate them. I hate like, you know, sports movies where the little, you know, scrawny kid scores a touchdown. They lift him on his shoulders. Fuck that.
Rudy. Like, you're like, no.
I hate Rudy. Rudy's, I think, one of the worst movies ever made. Fuck that. I mean, I hate Forrest Gump. I hate all those things where people accomplish things they shouldn't be able to accomplish.
Right.
I like seeing just fucked up, weird things.
Yeah.
That's my go-to.
I'm with you on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But history is the same way. Like, which is probably part of the problem with history, like why people hate it so much, like growing up and like don't have any interest in it later. It's because they get so sick of hearing just like the boring shit. But if you taught people, like if you mixed in some of the like dark, taboo, weird shit, people would be much more interested.
Yeah. We don't need all of just the facts. We need like the darkness, the meaning.
Yeah.
What do you know about Napoleon? And okay, so I heard somewhere, and I don't know if this is true, and I'm famous for hearing things and repeating them like they're fact.
It's
like one of my favorite things to do.
Same,
but what do you know about Napoleon not actually being short? I heard it's all just British propaganda.
Yeah, he wasn't short. He was the exact average height for then. I mean, compared to today, he was short as shit, but you know, like the average Civil War soldier was like 5'5" and 120 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Like if you look at like uniform. Like that's I mean, people were just tiny as shit. So especially Napoleon, early 1800s. Like he was tiny as fuck compared to us. But if you look at him compared to just the average height of a Frenchman, which you know, he was same height. He also had his penis cut off, and it's been like preserved and passed around ever since he died.
Who cut it off?
The person doing the not the autopsy, the embalming.
Oh, okay. Why did they do that?
It. Not sure. I mean, it's very French. They were probably going to put it in a fucking soup, if I had to guess, with how weird French food is. No, they did that with him and Rasputin. I don't know if you're familiar with Grigory Rasputin. He was a interesting fella, a Russian mystic who You ever watch the movie Anastasia? You ever watch that when you were a kid?
Yeah.
He's the villain in that movie. You remember, like, the creepy monk guy?
Oh, okay.
Yes, there's a real guy named Grigory Rasputin that the Russian royal family believed like healed their son, the Tsar Nicholas II. They had a son named Alexei who they didn't know at the time, but he had hemophilia, which is what like the royal family has hemophilia because they've been fucking each other for, hundreds of years.
Tale as old as time.
Tale as old as time. Yeah. And so he allegedly like cured him. And so the royal family thought he was this like, savior, mystic, had superpowers. He's one of the creepiest fucking people ever, but he apparently had a enormous penis.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, exactly. And he also, people thought he was invincible because like the night he died, they like poisoned him, stabbed him, and shot him, put him in a room, came back a little bit later to check on him, and he was alive and fighting them back. Then they shot him a couple more times, survived, finally shot him and threw him over a bridge into like the icy water, and then that's where he died. But apparently had like a yeah, well, he apparently had like a 13-inch penis, which
wow,
that's
a nightmare. I'll be honest, it's a little too big.
Yeah, he definitely was going around just fucking everybody.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah, what else would you do?
Yeah, ask the NBA.
Yeah, well, you could ask them.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
they answered.
Yeah. God, that has to be one of the most Googled. That had to have been a Google trend after that special came, because I definitely Googled it.
Which one are you talking about? The
tattoo
Jehovah's Witness one?
No, I think this is the tattoo of the Nana.
Oh, the tattoo. Okay, so this is funny. So I did another one in a different special with the Jehovah's guy about it was a joke about a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
And I bent the algorithm on Google. So if you type in Jehovah's Witness NBA, it like comes up right away. It'll be the first thing that comes up.
That's great.
But what happened with the second special, which is funny and sucks, is that I did the same thing. I thought it would be fun to like leave these little like breadcrumbs for everyone. And when I shot the special, when you Googled NBA player with tattoo of their grandma on their stomach, only one person came up, and it was the one person. And in
not
the
anymore. Not anymore.
No. Yeah. And in the time that it took to get the special out, another NBA player started talking about his tattoo of his grandma on his stomach or his body somewhere.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Talking about it a lot. So now he comes up, and I don't even know that person. And I feel so bad for it. I'm just like, oh, he caught a fucking stray. That's not him at all.
Oh, wait. So I might be thinking of the wrong person then.
Who are you thinking of?
Oh, you want me to just say? DeAndre Jordan.
Okay, you're thinking of the right person.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So you figured it out, but there's someone else who got in there. And
Kevin Durant is on there now, too.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, which I was like, I know.
Kevin Durant doesn't even like white girls.
Well, yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
No, it was DeAndre Jordan's the name that comes up.
Okay, well,
but there's names listed under that, and one of them was Kevin Durant, and I was like, oh, she might have got with KD and his weird ankles. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was DeAndre.
Oh, okay.
Back in the day.
Hell yeah. That's
I do feel kind of bad for these NBA. I don't feel bad for them, but I think it's funny to think of me like I hooked up with them and like, these NBA players like between 2009 and 2012. So like a long ass fucking time ago. And now I'm doing comedy and like breadcrumbing our like sexcapades. And they're like, hey man, we have like families and we're trying to chill. And I'm like,
well, tough shit. Yeah. I mean, it isn't just their life. I mean, it happened with you, dude. You should get to share or not share whatever the fuck you want. You know? Sex is a two-person thing.
A bit of a cock block at this point. People now see my comedy and they're like, no, we're good.
We're good. Well, fuck those people.
Yeah.
You know what? I think like, a good way to judge like your own self-worth is like you should never be unwilling to have sex with someone who may one day make a comedy special and talk about having sex with you.
Right.
If you're ashamed of that or embarrassed in any way, you shouldn't be having sex with them in the first place.
Yeah, listen,
I would want someone to do it.
Yeah, I don't think there's that much thought going into it, especially when they're like younger in the league. You know, they're just
Yeah.
like girls, 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 girls. I don't think they're thinking about it. But it's funny now, since I started doing it, the other NBA players that I've hooked up with reaching out to me and being like very nice to me and being like, "Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
LOL, congrats on your career." Like really trying to be in my good graces. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's honestly best if you just don't remind me you're alive. That's like
That's a good, yes.
that's the best way to do it. Don't hit me up and be like, "Hey, LOL, you're so funny. Congrats." Because then I'm just like, "Oh, I could talk about you next."
Yeah. It's like, well,
Yeah.
that would be the best thing to message back is like, well, that's interesting that you just messaged
Yeah.
me, or what great timing, and then just see what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I did have a
God,
guy recently who, like, post my divorce, I started hooking up with this athlete, baseball player. So I went to a different league.
Jesus,
And he ghosted me and it was annoying, but I was like, whatever, he's a baseball player, I don't care. And then we reconnected, and when we reconnected, he was like, "Hey, can I ask you a favor?" And I was like, "Sure, what's up?" And he's like, "Can you please not write a joke about me?" And I was like, "Oh." "Oh no, I already have like a 5-minute joke about you in this next hour. Like when you ghosted me, you lost all of your privileges to tell me what to do."
that's a
So
good point.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, ghosting someone's just a shit thing to do. Like,
It is really crummy, isn't it? It's crazy that it's
yeah,
like the norm now.
well, because people are. It's so easy to disconnect or disassociate yourself from another person as being a fellow human. Like,
Right.
so it's easy to just be like, I could block this person or just not reply their message and they no longer exist. Well, they
Yeah.
fucking exist. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I try not to fall into those sort of traps, or, or those ways
Yeah.
of thinking, that even though someone is, even though I am talking through them through a text message, through a phone
Yeah.
screen or whatever, or through this, you are still a real human being on the
Yeah.
other side of this camera. Like, so
Yeah. No,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think, yeah, I've definitely noticed that, like re-entering dating now because I was out of the
Mhm.
game for so long. I'm like, oh, this is wild. People literally just disappear, and that's a totally okay way
Yeah.
to like go about things. When I started dating again, I was like, oh, if a guy was like reaching out to me a lot, I was like, you know what, I'm not interested in this, but thank you. And they would be like, okay, cool. And like not reach out to me again. I'm like, that's all it takes. Like, just like
Yeah.
one little decent human communication of
Yeah.
like, not for me. And okay, great. Like, no, most of us aren't fucking psychopaths. We're not going to be like knocking down your fucking door, like,
Right.
"Hey, I love you," like it's
Which if
just,
they do, that's a keeper. That's
yeah,
that's the one you
yeah,
want.
yeah.
You want the person, like, or at least I do. Like, I have a big thing for crazy people. I
Okay.
love it. So
Mhm.
the more fatal attraction feely it
Okay.
gets, the
Spoil a
more
bunny.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
something to dig into in therapy, probably.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's a laundry list of things to dig into.
Yeah.
I mean, I think my taste in the opposite sex is probably pretty low on the list compared to
Yeah.
like an irrational fear of dying, or
Yeah.
thinking I'm going to choke every time I eat something. Which,
Oh, is that do you think that?
oh yeah, yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah.
Well,
It's a weird one, I know, but
yeah, that
such
would
is
make
life.
life terrifying.
Yeah, it kind of does, but it's,
Wow.
par for the course, I
Yeah.
suppose. Life is terrifying in some ways, but
Is
it's
it? I
also
don't know that
fun.
it is. I think people make it out to be a lot worse than it is. I'm like, if everyone, what's terrifying is our minds, I think. I don't think,
That's that's it. Yes,
yeah.
it's the reality. So like my mind does not think in realistic terms usually. It's
Yeah.
very like, what's the worst thing that could happen right now?
Right.
That's what's about to happen. But
Yeah.
the reality is, yeah, everything's good. Like, people are
Everything's
nice to
fine.
me in general. Like, I've never choked on my food. Like, all those
Yeah.
things, like, they're not reality. My mind makes up a
Yeah.
terrifying scenario. If that makes sense. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're right for sure.
I mean, I think the thing that really made me realize that too, and I think social media has a lot to do with it, is like there's so much fear mongering on the internet. Like
Hmm.
we get like there's, it's the attention economy of social media is like they want you to stay on. And one thing that we as humans really gravitate to is our fear of death. We're all afraid of
Yeah.
mortality. And so anything that can scare you in any way is valuable on the internet.
Yeah.
And so that's most of what you see. And I'm like, and if you just put your phone down, like during COVID, like everyone was so fucking freaked out. They're like, we're gonna die, like, ah. And I'm like, if you put your phone down and go for a walk on the beach, I think you'll see that like everything's actually fine. But it's just like this weird fear mongering that's in all of us and in our society. And it's just really breeds off of our fear of death. And I'm very sick of it because I'm like, I'm not actually afraid of death. I'm actually kind of ready for it whenever. Not in a way that I like want to get hit by a car, but like in a way that like I'll be at peace with it when it comes, that I'm not like scared of it. I just don't really understand people that are scared of dying.
It's an acceptance, you mean, kind of.
Yeah. And I'm also like, why are you scared of dying? Like, what is so great about life?
Everything.
Really?
I love life. Yeah.
Really?
What
do you like about it?
I love learning things. I love learning like what's happened in the past. I love seeing what happens. I love my family, my friend, or the few friends like you. Yeah, I love being here. Like
Oh, that's very sweet. I've never heard anyone say that. Maybe because I live in LA.
That would be that could definitely be why. Yeah, no, I mean I definitely
satanic cesspool.
Well, yeah. I mean, that could make things a little grumpy at times. But I love it. I know there are bad things and there's stuff like that, but I don't want to go. Like I want to live for 500 years.
Oh, okay.
If I could.
That's an insane thing to say to me. To me, that's like crazy. Like I'm like, if I make it to 65, that's good. I'm good. Because I'm one of those people that lived a lot when I was younger. Like I did a lot when I was young. So I've always felt like I'm good. Like I think I have more to do. I would love to do more with my career and my creativity. But if for some reason I can't die on Horny being my last special. That I know. That I know. So I have to put at least one more special out.
I tell you what, the day you put that special out, I'm probably gonna message you like, "Hey, are you good?" Like put the gun down.
Yeah. Put the family heirloom down.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Oh, that's really sweet. I love hearing that. It's a very interesting perspective. I guess a lot of people I know have that too. I just not me.
I mean, I'm interested in like the dark side of things, and I'll watch like horror movies, listen to creepy music. Like I'm in some ways like kind of a dark person, but I also my overall sentiment towards like the world is positive. Like I like, I just like being here. I mean, there's so much interesting shit, and I don't know very much of it.
I love that. Well, I feel like you know a lot more than most people.
Yeah, but
like I feel like
thank you.
Good on like a trivia night team.
I do pretty good at trivia. Yeah. Like, that's like I was not very good at basketball.
Like, I don't fuck it up.
Oh, I will. Yeah. I'm more of a I don't want anyone else to. I would rather not be on a team. I just want to do it myself.
Right. So then why don't you do like Jeopardy?
Oh, I've auditioned fucking every year since I was like 12 years old for the for the kids, then college, then adult. Oh yeah. I take the test every year, audition, everything.
Oh, I love that. Okay, you get Jeopardy. We're gonna speak that into existence. That's 2025.
Holy fuck!
Fucking sweep Jeopardy.
Oh God, I think I would do pretty well. I mean, like I still watch it every day. Pretty much.
Really?
Yeah, love it.
And can you guess everything before everyone else?
No, not everything. Probably there's 60 questions. I could usually get about 30 to 40, which is pretty decent.
That's great because I can get like 2.
Well, I mean, it's just I just have like a pretty decent memory. I think that's more of what it is. Like, like wisdom. I don't know if I got a lot of that.
Right.
I make a lot of dumb decisions.
That's okay.
I mean, some are visible, but
that's part of why you need 500 years.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
You gotta learn something that's not in a book.
Yeah, but that's all the things I like are things that have already happened.
Right.
Which I don't know. That might be kind of a sad thing to think, but I like it. I like knowing where we were and like how it got us to where we are now. I find that interesting. Like, why do we do this certain thing, or why do we say that's why I like word origin stuff, because I love like why do we say that word? Like where in the past did that become
Right.
a thing? Like I'm just
Right.
fascinated by all that kind of shit. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's
Do you have any kids?
not that I know of.
Okay, great.
No.
You're gonna be such a good dad if you want to be. I think
Thank you.
that's like one of the things that I'm like, I don't know if I can be a mom because I don't think I have enough facts in my head. Like,
Oh.
if they were
Yeah,
like,
but
"What's that?" I'd be like, "I don't fucking know." Like,
but you could find out easily.
I
Like
know, but I feel like I need to know. Like, I have my best friend Claudia. She's like knows every single plant name and like every like all that shit.
yeah.
That's like good information that I should have, and I just don't.
That's that's interesting. Yeah, because like a lot of people in my family are like that. Like they know every fucking like flower plant. Like, oh, that's
Yes, yeah, bougainvillea. That's the
daffodrangia or
yeah,
whatever. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck. I know there's a tree and a bush. I
yeah,
know that, and that
yeah.
one might be a flower because it's purple. But
Right.
yeah, that's about all I know. Yeah, I don't know like shit like that. But I can tell you like every president in order, pretty much.
Right.
Like which I don't know.
Oh.
That's that interesting to most people, but. Or it's not as useful in day-to-day life. But yeah,
I couldn't. I think I could maybe list like 6 presidents or 7
like ever.
ever. How many have there
Jesus.
been?
45, 46.
Okay, yeah. So I got the last 6. I
Oh,
got.
that's pretty good.
Well, hang on. I don't know if I do. Oh, look at that.
I know it does that goddamn thumbs up.
Let me think. Obviously, George Washington and Lincoln. Those are the 2 I have from the past.
There's quite a gap between the 2. Yeah. I mean, you skipped about 70 years, but yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I'm telling you what I've got in my head.
No, you're good. You're good. No judgments here. I mean, I did just kind of judge you, but
No, you did. It's okay.
Yeah.
George Bush Senior and Junior.
Okay, so
and
skipping. We're in a pattern here. We're skipping
Clinton, Obama, Trump, Biden, and that's all I have. Trump again.
Well, Trump again. Yeah.
Oh, Carter, I guess because he just died.
Yeah. So you don't know who the president before
JFK.
There is JFK. He was a president. So you don't know who the president before George H.W. Bush was. Right.
Reagan.
Like, okay. Well, see, and then before him was you named him. That died.
Oh, Carter.
Yeah. So see, you got a pretty good. And then and so before him was Gerald Ford. Before that was Nixon. Before that was Johnson.
Nixon, Watergate.
Yeah. Okay, before that was Johnson. Before that was Kennedy. And then you just kind of keep going back. So
right, and then
kind of there, but
and then you go to George Washington, and
then eventually you get to eventually you go down to Adams, Quincy Adams, Jackson, Madison, Monroe, and you get down there. But
there we go. Yeah.
Richard Nixon, whenever he was trying to bang his wife, before she was his wife. He would drive because like she would just keep rejecting him, and he would drive her around on her dates with other guys.
Oh, he was a cuck.
He was a cuck, which really explains, if you dig into his presidency, it explains a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a fucking, I mean, it's romantic but creepy as shit in the same way.
Old cucky Nixon. Who's the one? Wasn't it like Eleanor Roosevelt? Was like really good at giving head.
No, that's Nancy Reagan.
Oh,
okay. She was called the blowjob queen of Los Angeles.
Yes.
Which there might be a new winner of that.
Which it's me now.
Yeah, that's I might be speaking to the new one, but yeah. She was known as the blowjob queen of Los Angeles. Yeah, well, she was like in the Hollywood elite,
right?
With, like through her dad and. Well, Ronald Reagan was a pretty successful actor and head of the Screen Actors Guild at one point. But apparently she used to just suck herself around Los Angeles
good for her,
like a Dyson. Yeah. I mean, it's a great trait to have. I mean, yeah.
What secrets do you have about the Hollywood elite?
Oh, about the Hollywood elite. I mean, actually, there's not really that many secrets about them because they're all like, it's kind of well known. They're all, there's a lot of like creepy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much any director that you can think of, like almost any so basically any hot actress you can name, like at one point has probably had to do something to get put into a movie.
Yeah.
You just don't hear about most of them. Or if you think of any actress from, let's say, like the 90s to the late 2000s, and you wonder, whatever happened to her? She's someone who accused Harvey Weinstein of sexual assault. So you're like, God, where happened to Naomi Judd? And I was like, oh, well, that's what happened to Naomi Judd. So there's like stuff like that, but there's not much of like there's not much else behind.
There's a lot of pedophilia.
Oh,
there's a lot of stuff I think that's about to come out.
Yeah, I mean, the P. Diddler stuff is definitely helping, and and
Diddler. I think more would have come out if they didn't kill Epstein, but
yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, old Slick Willie, Bill Clinton was definitely getting a little loose in the knuckles a few times, but there's a lot of that kind of stuff that's just fucking. You're just like, God damn, like. This is not good, you know?
How did I forget Bill Clinton? What is wrong with
I mean,
Bill Clinton.
He didn't forget you, I'll tell you that. That's Jesus.
Bill. He's looking rough these days.
Yeah, well, he's goddamn probably close to 80 years old, if I had to guess, 70 something. I mean, he's not, and I mean, you kill that many people, it's going to start to show on you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's the only reason he's not dead yet is because the devil doesn't want him.
That's very true. Yeah. If you could become a dictator, have you ever thought about becoming a dictator? Like just what you would do if you were the dictator of the U.S.?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's a fun game if you're never bored.
Dictator, what would I do? Here's the problem with me. I think I'm too apathetic to be a dictator. I don't really care strongly about anything. So I don't think I have it in me to dictate.
But there's nothing that you would want to, there's nothing that just like on a daily basis or maybe like mundane things that just drive you nuts where you're just like, I would like to change that. No. Like it doesn't bother you that some months have different amounts of days than others? Because that bothers me.
No, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing to be bothered about. I could get on board with that. I just never have been.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I think there should be an equal amount of days in each month. I have no business trying to memorize that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree. So that would be your thing?
Yeah, I think that's probably the platform I'd run on if I had to. I mean, you don't really run as a dictator. It's not really.
Yeah, you don't run.
Yeah, I would do that or no hyphenated last names.
Okay.
You just you have a last name.
Yeah.
Well, by definition, you can only have one last name. So anybody's like, I have two last names. Well, you don't.
You don't.
You don't.
You're just an asshole.
You're just an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of that's where I go with that kind of thing. Who was your childhood celebrity crush?
Ooh, Leonardo DiCaprio in the Titanic.
Oh, little Jack Dawson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I always thought Kate Winslet was really hot, which Kate Winslet's still really hot.
She still is really hot. See, Leo, for me, has turned. I really admire his acting, but I feel sad for him as a person.
Because he's single?
No,
not married.
He's like, he does like dark shit still. Like he's single, but he's like single in a way where he's like hanging out at Hollywood parties with really young girls doing drugs. And like, I'm just like, he's such a fucking Peter Pan to me that I'm like, are you okay? Is anyone checking on you?
That's, yeah. He was, he was in a little group called the Pussy Posse, which is just about as douchey as it gets.
Yeah, him and Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, and Tobey Maguire being in that is...
It's hilarious. I'm like, he's like such a nerdy looking dude. He just had like one role in Spider-Man, and then I don't know how he got inducted to the fucking Pussy Posse.
Well, apparently he's a bit of an asshole from whatever. Like, have you ever seen Molly's Game? That movie about
yes.
Yeah, so he's the guy that I think it's not Topher Grace. It's somebody, I can't remember who's playing him, but like there's an actor in the movie who's, playing an actor.
Who's
just a real asshole, but that's based on Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, I heard that. And I've like run into him out in the wild. I've never interacted with him, but I just don't like the way he moves. He's very snake-like.
Yeah. Are you a person like kind of like a dog? Not that I'm calling you a dog, but like in the dog in the sense of like you can pick up on a person's energy. Like
I usually think that I can, but I have been fooled by I've been fooled more than once for sure, but last year the most prominent fooling was by like a legitimate psychopath. Which I'll say his name, but can you bleep it?
Sure.
Okay. And I like ran in with each other. And when I say like definition of a psychopath, like legitimate psychopath, where he like goes into a room and he can read the room and see exactly like what needs to be said for everyone to be like eating out of the palm of his hand. He
Yeah.
means nothing. He feels nothing. He's acting all of the time. He's just like a shell of a fucking person. And I was like all in on it.
Mm,
And that made me like have to like reevaluate myself because I'm like, I sensed danger and I was like, Olay, I was like,
yeah, that checks out.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the final boss of crazy. And I was like, I love you.
Well, yeah. I mean, if there was a female version of said person,
Yeah.
I'd be all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I kind of am drawn to crazy, but probably because my mom was crazy. So I like secretly sort of love chaos and
Yeah.
crazy. But like I am good at like romantic partnerships aside, which is not ideal because like that's the most important thing that I need to be sensing for. But like if I meet people in like a group setting, I'm very good at like I sense energy really well.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
I feel very similar. Like I can
Yeah.
kind of just tell if a person's a piece of shit or not
Yeah.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
Or if they're just like lying. Like I feel like I can
Yeah.
tell someone's lying very easily.
Lying or like try hard or like,
Oh God,
like,
that's the worst.
yeah.
The worst is like someone who has to try to one up your story every
Yeah.
time, like
Yeah.
those types of people. That's one, if I was a dictator, because you have to
Just get rid of them. Yeah.
well, you have to remove a group of people.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
almost like part of the job.
Yeah.
That's the type that I'm removing.
The one-uppers.
Yeah, the one-uppers. Like if anybody's telling a story and somebody else goes, well, I went there and it, blah, blah, it's like, well,
You're
off
dead
you
now.
go.
Now you're
Yeah, get in
dead.
the train. Yeah. My God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So funny.
Look, this has been a blast. I mean, we're at the hour mark. I've had a great time talking with you.
We did it. It was so fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, anytime you're more than welcome to come back. I mean, this hour flew by pretty fucking quick, I'd say. Yeah. So before we go, obviously plug, promote anything you'd like, your podcast.
Oh yeah.
Special.
I have a podcast called This Is the Worst. I have another one called Scumbags of History, which actually you might like. I don't know if you even know about that.
No, how did I not know that one?
We only did one season, but it was great. It was basically where we took all these historical figures that are touted as like wonderful people. Like we did Einstein, we did Coco Chanel, we did Einstein, we did
did you do Gandhi?
We did Gandhi. We did
Mother Teresa.
We did Mother Teresa.
Okay.
Yes, we did all.
You got them. Yeah, I got the good ones.
We got the people that like everyone thinks they're amazing, and then we broke down how they're secretly pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And then I have a special Horny on YouTube. I have Hoda Housewife on Hulu, and that's it. My Instagram's Brittany Schmitt, and that's all.
Well, Brittany, you are an incredible person.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was so nice to meet you and chat with you.